Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be showing you that how to export any sort of HTML table to CSV file inside vanilla JavaScript. We will not be using any sort of third-party library. We will all be doing this stuff inside HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So on your screen you can see the demo of the application. We have a simple table which has three columns: name, age and country, and there are three rows out there, and there is a button out there which says export this HTML table to CSV file. As I click this button, you will see this CSV file will be downloaded as an attachment. If I open this file inside Microsoft Excel, you will see this file: name, age, country, and these are the three rows which are inserted here. So I will be showing you from scratch how to do this process from in vanilla JavaScript without using any sort of third-party library. If you want to download all the source code which I am going to write in this tutorial, you can go to the video description link. Here, this is the link here. This is the blog post where I written all the source code step by step. So download all the source code by going to the video description link. Now let's start building this application from scratch. So for building it, you will need a text editor. I am using a Visual Studio Code text editor. It's a very good editor for web developers. You can use any text editor of your choice. So this is a simple template. I can change the title: export HTML table to CSV file in JavaScript. So inside this, guys, first of all we need to prepare a very simple table here with the help of a table tag. So inside this table tag we will have a table row, and inside this table row we will have table headings. So here we can give here name, then age, and let's suppose country. After that, guys, what we can do is that we can have again another table row, which now we will be inserting some data. For now I am just inserting some static values out there. You can also have a dynamic table also. So I will have four rows. So I am just inserting the data here. So tr tags is known as table row, and this td tags are known as table data. So now if you refresh it, you will see three rows is added here. If I refresh it, you will see name, age and country, and you can see these three rows is inserted here. Let me also add a fourth row as well. So if you refresh it, you will see the fourth row. So now we need to simply write some CSS. This is not mandatory for this tutorial, but I will be styling the table little bit. So I will be giving a style of, I will change the color to this color. This is hexadecimal code here, 2B 2B 2B, and I will change the font family to this family, which is Roboto condensed, and then I will target the table heading here, which I will align this inside in the left position, and I will change the color of it to this color, which is 4679 BD. After that we will target each of the individual table rows tag by this selector. This is a selector here, so this is CSS selector. So we will change the background color to this color, which is DAEAFF. And lastly we will change the button styling to cursor, I will change this to pointer, and we will give some margin from the top position, which will be 1 rem. So after applying these styles, you will see this table is styled here using CSS. It has some background color of blue, and you can see that. Now we will write the JavaScript here. So just make a script tag. So as you are seeing here, we are doing this inside plain JavaScript. We are not using any sort of third-party library. So right here, we need to first of all target our button. So document.query selector, and here we will pass the button, and we will attach an event listener, add event listener. So when we click this button, we need to execute this callback function. So first of all, we will get the HTML of the table by document.query selector, and we will have the table here, and we will use the outer HTML property to get the HTML, and then we will say export table to CSV. This is a function that we will create. We will pass the HTML, and we will pass the file name which needs to be given. Let's suppose we give the file name as table.csv. You can give any file name of your choice. So now we need to create this function at the very top. Export table to CSV. So this is a custom function. This takes the HTML which is passed in the file name. And now inside this function, what we need to do is that we need to create the CSV array, which will be currently empty by default. And now we need to get the individual rows of the table, all the rows. For that, we again need to use the document.query selector. And inside this, we will pass table and also table row. So this will get all the rows for us. So here we can have the for loop. Here we can say where I is equal to 0, I less than rows dot length I plus plus. And inside this for loop, the first statement we will be doing, we will be extracting the individual rows, and the columns is equal to rows individual row dot, and inside individual row we will use query selector all, and we will extract the table data, comma, the table heading. So again we will apply another loop here, which will be where j is equal to 0, j less than calls dot length j plus plus, and we will push it inside the row array here by row dot push, and call j dot inner text. This is a property. And lastly, we will push it to the CSV array, which will be csv dot push row dot join, and here the separator will be comma. So every time we will put a comma. So as you know, in CSV files we have a comma in between the values. And lastly, outside this inner loop, we will write the statement here. We will call another function which will be downloading this file as a CSV as an attachment. So here we will say csv.join. We will join it by a new line character, which is this character. That's it. And also we need to pass the file name which was passed here to this function. So now we need to create this function. So this line I need to write outside this loop. So you need to remove this line from here and just paste here this line just outside this loop. And now we need to make this function which will actually download the file. So download CSV. So inside this This will have the CSV and the file name. So to downloading this we need to create two variables, which will be CSV file and the download link, which will be generated. And we will initialize the CSV file to a new blob object. So every time whenever we need to download a file inside native browser, we will make use of blob object. Inside this we will pass CSV, and the mem type will be simply text/CSV. After initializing it, we will have to get the download link, and this will be equal to document.createElement, and we will create a dynamic anchor element, and we will initialize download link properties. Download should be equal to the actual file name, which is passed here. After that, we will initialize the href property, href. So this will be equal to window.url.createObjectURL, and inside this we will pass the CSV file. And lastly, we need to hide this, so we will say download link dot style dot display is equal to none. So we don't want to show this anchor tag to the user. You can show it, but I will not show it. So lastly, we need to append this element to the DOM. So for that, we can say document.body.append child, and here we can pass the download link property. That's it. And lastly, we need to click this, so we can say download link automatically. There is a click method. That's it. So this will automatically click. So now the application is complete, so we can test it. We have, I think we haven't added the button in the DOM. So after the table, we need to add this button. So just add the button. The label of the button will be simply export HTML table to CSV file. That's it. Now if you click this button, you will see your CSV file is downloaded, table.csv. Mm, Let me download once again why it is not having. Sometimes let me refresh the application. Let me download, copy this, paste it from my blog post. Sometimes it can happen if you write this code by yourself. Let me now refresh it once again. Export it. And now you will see the application is working. So make sure that you go to the blog post and copy the correct code here. I have given the blog post link in the video description. So here you can just change your file name to anything here. If I change this, you will see the file name will be changed. So this is a great application that I written, which converts the HTML table, export it to a CSV file, and download it as attachment in pure vanilla JavaScript. Please like the video, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next video.